Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Good morning. Happy August 1st, my friends. It's officially August. Hope everyone is having a fantastic morning. So we got ourselves a lot of updates regarding this tropical system. We actually have an idea of what might happen now with this system. Beforehand, it was kind of all over the place, but it seems like models are starting to agree a little bit on the system. So we're going to be looking at it overall. We're going to be talking about it. It is now an investigation, though. Last time it was just a disturbance. She's officially an invest now. Here's the latest satellite imagery. It's actually looking a lot better than it did. You can see that there's a lot of somewhat organized thunderstorm activity. It's there's a lot more storms going on in the storm or in the system here because it's actually over some more moisture-filled air, which is allowing for the storm to actually progress rather than just sit there and not really do much. But what's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Let's see who we got here. We have Big T, we have Liz, we have Hydra, we have Kat, we have Rich, and we have Rodney. What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hope everyone's doing good. So we got ourselves a bit to talk about here. We're going to go ahead and just jump right on over here to the models here. We're going to take a look at it. So let's go ahead and actually move this over here. So this is the latest, the models. Hold on one second. Let's pull this up. All right, so we got some new information here regarding the latest run of all the models here. Things are starting to trend a bit towards the Eastern Gulf rather than going out west how we were previously thinking it might. So there's a possibility, like I said, obviously the models were really talking about this thing just kind of going up the U.S. East Coast. That is not really expected anymore. It seems like the models are starting to have it go kind of towards the west coast of Florida, as we are going to be seeing here. So yeah, we'll get into that here in a second. What's up, Samuel? Good morning. Let's see here. What's up, Tabletop? We're doing good. Yeah, obviously, like I said, Tabletop, it was a little early to tell on what it was going to do. So, there was no reason to worry about it, no reason to freak out overall. What's up, Samuel? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's see. What's up, Rodney? Hope you're doing good. Getting ready for work, so I'm hoping it'll be a good day. Yeah, hopefully. Hurricane Mita. So we are not expecting this thing for Louisiana or Mississippi right now. We're going to see. So let's go ahead and jump on into it with the GFS model. The first one. So now GFS has this thing. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull up the southeastern U.S. So the latest GFS model has this thing going near Tampa and actually making a landfall in the Big Bend of Florida here. Now, according to the latest GFS, it has it making landfall as either a tropical storm or a Category 1. And of course, continuing to go to the northeast. But this is really interesting because the latest GFS has this thing actually picking up some strength out there, possibly in the the U.S. East Coast, and then coming back and hitting Florida again out there by Jacksonville before kind of getting dug its way into the Panhandle, and then eventually just does its own little thing. Obviously, that's a little bit of a wild run from the GFS here, having it going up the Florida's west coast, making landfall in the Big Bend of Florida, and then, of course, going back out to the waters where it picks up strength again, becomes a hurricane again, possibly, and then, of course, hits Jacksonville. Now, that's one model opinion. That's one model run. It's a lot different than what the models were saying yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, those models are going to still change. This is not final, so don't expect this to be the way it plays out, but it's definitely interesting overall. Yeah, it's 97L now. It is officially 97L. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're talking about there. So that's the GFS. Let's hop over to Euro. Now, European, the latest Euro, which is the 0 Zulu. Let's see here. So this Euro is one of the models that really doesn't show much happening with this system. If anything, it's just going to be a lot of rain for Florida, according to the European model. But, yeah, it just kind of does its own little thing there. Just kind of sits in the Eastern Gulf as not really much. That's, Euro's opinion. But I want to go ahead and tell you this. All the other models disagree with this. Actually, most of the models have it going near GFS's standpoint. Let's hop the CMC model now. So we looked at the European and the GFS. So the GFS showed it hitting western Florida, then going off to towards Jacksonville, and then turning around and hitting Florida again. Euro didn't really show much. CMC model, here's another model here. This one shows kind of a similar idea, maybe coming near the Panhandle instead of the Big Bend, near the Big Bend, but mostly there towards like the main Panhandle. Shows potential landfall, maybe a tropical storm. We'll have to see before getting dug its way into the eastern U.S. and then just kind of going off, the U.S. mid-Atlantic coast. So that's obviously a big difference compared to the GFS, but they both do agree on the possibility of that storm actually, rolling its way up across, western Florida, and possibly impacting the Big Bend or the Panhandle of Florida. That's a possibility. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and let you know that's what the latest model with the CMC has to show us. Now, hopping on over to Icon, this is another model here. Icon kind of agrees with all the other ones. Look at that. So has that storm actually tracking there towards the Big Bend of Florida. Could be causing some impacts even for like areas near Tampa. Some, coastal problems could be an issue. But, that's kind of what we're standing here. So as we've noticed, we looked at, 4 models? I think it was. We looked at the European, the GFS, the CMC, and the Icon. And 3 out of 4 of those models suggested that the storm is going to be rubbing up against the Florida's western coast, kind of out there near the Big Bend. So that's a possibility. That seems to be a decent possibility, and we're actually seeing a bit more agreement now, which is certainly interesting. Now, I want to let you know, those are not the main hurricane models. And since this thing has just become an investigation like we talked about, 97L it is, like I said, this thing is, the models are pretty interesting. So let's go and hop over to it. So this is 97L. This is the system. First of all, I want to go ahead and mention this. Let me go ahead and bring this back to our main view. I want to go ahead and mention this here. This is the hurricane model intensity guidance, and all the models that we ran, were 5 of them, easily shows this thing becoming a hurricane. As a matter of fact, all of them show even up into Category 2 status. Now, this is the first run, obviously, and not all of the hurricane models are here, but it does show that there is rapid intensification expected with the system. So that's something we need to really be watching out for. Now, here's the GFS ensembles. As you can see, the GFS ensembles really has either western Florida getting landfall or out there towards like the Big Bend. So it's either western Florida or the Big Bend of Florida where that potential landfall could be. That is what the ensembles from GFS has to say with the first run here. So that's certainly pretty interesting overall. Here's the GEPS ensembles. Yeah, really, really limited information here. Not all the ensembles have ran, as you can tell. There's only a handful of them, but a couple of them have it going out there towards the Panhandle. One actually has it going through Miami, which that's probably going to be the outcast here because, you know, the main models and the models in general seem to have this thing actually just rolling its way up here towards this area here. So more than likely, from what it looks like now, this can obviously change because we're still a couple days away. We're still several days away. But as of now, it seems like the storm is likely going to be tracking its way out there towards western Florida, out there towards the far eastern Gulf, you know, eventually maybe even towards the Panhandle or the Big Bend of Florida. You know, it's certainly a possibility. So these areas, you know, definitely need to be monitoring this. Potential landfall activity could occur later on this weekend into early next week. We are expecting the system to be near kind of there for the kind of for Sunday into Monday. That's kind of when we're expecting the, you know, the most out of it to occur. So that's what we are looking at here regarding that overall. So that's the latest ensembles. Obviously, the current location of the storm, that central low, right now is actually over the Dominican Republic, up there towards the northern side. And we're going to take a look at the satellite view again. We're going to go ahead and bring that up. So this is our water vapor scan. You can see that there's, once again, a lot of disorganized, or it's a lot more organized, I should say, but there's still a lot of thunderstorm activity. You know, it's a lot better organized than it was, you know, a couple days ago. But, you know, overall, that central low really hasn't developed quite yet. You know, a couple days ago, we had a developed low, or it was starting to rotate. Not really seeing it rotate right now. I mean, obviously, you know, we have a little bit of movement. I mean, it definitely, we need to get a better low organized overall. So that's something that still needs to happen. But overall, at least the storm has gathered all of its storms together for the most part. So that's a good key indicator that the storm is actually starting to pick up in some, you know, some development. And like we were talking about beforehand, there was actually a lot of dry air out there across, you know, these waters from the Saharan dust previously. That has kind of been removed overall. You know, where you do have dry air, it's kind of that black color. You see how it's dark over here. That's showing drier air. Meanwhile, the blues and the greens kind of shows some more moisture-filled atmosphere, which obviously the storm right now is kind of heading into those areas where there's a lot more moisture. So it seems like moisture isn't going to be as much of a problem as what the models were talking about previously. But we'll have to watch out how it develops. Now, here's one of the main things, you guys. Whenever it comes to it, as the storm continues to roll to the west here, so obviously the geography of Cuba is pretty mountainous. As you know, tropical activity is not really, it doesn't really do very well in mountainous regions. It quickly, you know, kind of, you know, fades out. So what might happen here is the storm might struggle to develop until it gets off of western Cuba's coast. Okay, so once it gets off of Cuba's coast and once it enters these waters here, that's when we're going to see possibly rapid intensification. I think that's certainly a possibility. I mean, just given in the Gulf right now, if all other conditions are met, in the Gulf right now, there is a lot of really warm water. We're talking like 31, 32 degrees Celsius waters. That is really, really, really warm. Now, obviously, it doesn't just rely on those sea surface temperatures. There's a lot more things that goes into it, such as, you know, wind shear and moisture and stuff like that. It doesn't appear, some models not really show a big problem with wind shear, as well as, you know, overall moisture. It seems like, you know, some of the models really don't see much of an issue with that. So that's what we're kind of waiting to see. You know, that's kind of what we're wanting to see here overall. So there's, you know, once again, there's certainly a lot of things that we still need to learn about the storm, but as of right now, it seems like we are starting to have a little bit more of an agreement here with the models in terms of, you know, the system possibly impacting Florida, possibly the western side of Florida, there towards, you know, like Tampa, you know, the western side. It doesn't mean it'll be directly at landfall for Tampa, but, you know, around that side, I should say, for the Big Bend, you know, just around the west coast of Florida needs to really be watching this. I mean, Florida in general needs to be watching this here. So we'll definitely keep you updated overall. Samuel says, let's see, tonight live stream start time. I'm not sure, Samuel. Not too sure, man. We'll just keep an eye on it and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. That way, whenever we do go live, you can actually see it. Like I said, typically I just kind of plan these streams last minute for the most part. So it's like, this morning I was like, we're going to do an update because things have definitely evolved quite a bit since the last time we were here. So what's up, Asin? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Daniel says, what part of Indianapolis is going to get hit by tornadoes today? So there's a 2% chance for tornadoes today. Nothing super crazy. So odds of getting tornadoes is pretty low. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the Storm Prediction Center real quickly, just to kind of look at it, kind of see what's going on here. So for the people who's wondering about today's severe weather, real quickly look at it. We got a slight risk today, not as crazy as the last couple days. They actually removed the slight risk from central Illinois. That was actually there, previously before we started our stream. Areas out there in Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, also southern Illinois. You guys need to be weather aware today. Just keep an eye on the weather. A couple severe storms cannot be ruled out. Also across the dark green, an isolated severe storm is not, can't be ruled out either. But odds are very low across the dark green, but keep an eye on it. Tornado probability, they actually broke it up into two different areas. We got an area out there towards central and southern Wisconsin, portions of northern Illinois, excluding Chicago. Chicago's not in it. Northeastern Iowa, southeastern portions of Minnesota, barely even in that. Ohio, Indiana, portions of Illinois, and a lot of Kentucky. Also western West Virginia, possibility for a couple tornadoes. Damaging winds, 15% chance out there for damaging wind gusts, possibly ranging between 60, up to 70 mile per hour winds, maximum possible. We're not expecting that 70 plus like we saw yesterday. We had winds that were like 90 miles an hour yesterday. It was pretty bad. We're not expecting that today, though, thankfully. Winds are going to be a little bit more calmer today. In terms of hail, nothing really big on the hail, possibly between 1 and 2 inches in diameter with a 5% chance. Not a big old deal. So, yeah, today's not as crazy. We're not expecting coverage today. Tomorrow, got a little marginal out there. No tornadoes, just a little bit of a wind threat. No hail even. Day 3, got another marginal. This is for Saturday. Across the Mid-Atlantic, possibly a couple storms. Still a little early for a breakdown there. But, yeah, and of course, the extended range here. We're not really expecting any organized severe weather events to occur. So that's that. That's just a quick little update on the severe weather side of things. So yeah, nothing not as crazy today, thankfully. It's gonna be a little bit more calm. Let's see here. We'll be lucky to get any rain in Indiana. Yeah, it's been dry across a lot of places, actually across the U.S. It's been pretty dry out in some places. Let's see here. 70. Yeah, we had 90. As in, from what I saw, we had 90 mile per hour winds yesterday. It was pretty aggressive. Yeah, the winds were definitely pretty nasty. So here's the invest. Look above me, guys. So you can see that it's looking a lot better. You guys can see above me here. The system is more organized. I mean, obviously it still has a lot of work to do, but it's looking a lot better. There's a lot more organized thunderstorm activity now. It's not. It's really grabbing a hold of the thunderstorms, I should say. The system itself is kind of holding on to those thunderstorms. And here soon, like I said, I mean, this thing could start, possibly strengthening ever so slightly. We're not expecting the storm to develop into a tropical depression, at least for the next 2 days. Overall formation chance, let me go ahead and bring you guys over here to the Hurricane Center. We're going to take a look at that. So the NHC, the Hurricane Center here, has an overall probability of a 60% chance. As you can see on the bottom there, formation chance for the next 7 days, medium 60% chance. They did up the probability of it developing in the next 2 hours, though. Although it is at a 20% chance. So throughout the next 2 days, there's a 20% chance that this thing will become a tropical depression. So obviously, the odds are pretty low of this thing forming anytime soon. However, the next 7 days, we have a 60% chance. I only expect that to go up further and further as models are really starting to pick up and gain some traction on the system. So that will likely go up probably later today. I'd say probably 70% later today. We'll have to see. But it's looking a lot better. And I definitely do expect those probabilities to continue to rise overall. So we'll definitely see. So the Hurricane Center, they mentioned a well-defined tropical wave producing large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorm over Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and the adjacent waters of the southwestern Atlantic and the northeastern Caribbean Sea. Development of this system should be slow to occur the next couple of days as the system, development of the system should be slow to occur during the next couple of days while it moves west-northwest over portions of the Greater Antilles. However, environmental conditions are forecasted to be more conducive for development after the wave passes the Greater Antilles, and a tropical depression could form this weekend or early next week over the eastern Gulf of Mexico or near the Florida Peninsula. Interest in the Greater Antilles, the Bahamas, and Florida should continue to monitor the progression. So that's what we're looking out there for. So obviously, yeah, things are starting to pick up a bit overall. See you later, Samuel. Thanks for joining, man. So that's the latest from the Hurricane Center. Obviously, things are starting to pick up. Quick little look at the Eastern Pacific. We actually do have ourselves Tropical Storm Carlotta, I think it is. Currently sustained at 60 miles an hour. This thing's been doing some pretty quick intensification. We are expecting this thing to become a hurricane. We're not expecting major hurricane as of now, but we are seeing this thing forecasted to become a hurricane. The good news is that it's staying away from land, so obviously not really a problem there. Disturbance 1, yeah, odds are pretty low overall. Not really anything super crazy with this system here. So even if it formed, it wouldn't do anything. Then we have another disturbance out here. This has a 90% chance of overall formation in the next 7 days. So that's a possibility. A pretty good shot that this thing's going to develop into a tropical depression. So we'll definitely likely see that here later this weekend, according to the Hurricane Center here. So yeah, 2 systems out there that we're really paying attention to in the Eastern Pacific. But the good news is obviously, they're heading away from, any areas of land. As of right now, should not be a problem for really any of you guys. So that's that. So the main problem obviously here is Florida. Watching out for this system here and just kind of paying attention and seeing what this thing's going to end up doing, because there still is a little bit of disagreement, obviously, but it seems like the models are really starting to get a grip on the system here, and it seems like the latest trend has this thing going out there towards the eastern Gulf, just off the west coast of Florida. That does seem to be the greatest likely probability overall. So that is that, guys. That's pretty much really what I wanted to talk about. Like I said, just a quick little morning update with you guys. Not really a long one. I know a lot of you guys got work to go to and stuff like that. So we're not going to hold you. But we'll keep you all updated. I'll do another live stream this evening. I promise you guys we'll go live again this evening since this thing's now officially an investigation. So we'll be live later this evening to give you guys some more information on the system. If you guys did enjoy it, leave a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new. It'd be greatly appreciated. And alrighty, guys. Once again, appreciate y'all for joining. You guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a great day at work, school, whatever you're doing. I don't think you guys are in school yet. At least I'm not too sure. But anyways, have a great day regardless, and hope to see you guys in the next one. See you later, guys. Take care, and we'll catch you later on.